Welcome to week 8. Is that right? 8 is great. As long as week 7's over. That's all I care about. All right, let's find a way, baby. That's the song. Stern approval. Check them out. Welcome to Behind the Lines. I am Ron Harlow. To my left, you're right. Robert Keeler, ready to rock you guys out. What a week we had to share. We got some bragging rights going. We'll talk about those in a bit. But I wanted to start the show today with one of our dear friends for our local folks around here. Big Stan Stefanski's got Bar Bingo tonight, which we could go. Starts at 7, so you got an hour to get there. 918 Carroll Street. They have a group that comes in, and if you hit the number, and and so many, you win the grand prize. Sometimes it's $1,000. So great food, great Polish food. They have Polish drinks. 918 Carroll Street in lovely East Chicago. Well, let's start with the week that was. How did you guys fare? How'd you do?
Good.
Yeah?
Somehow we through the bye week.
Right? I feel like I'm like gluing hair back on my head this week. Just to have guys, thank goodness like Elijah Mitchell showed up, and even Devontae Booker got in the end zone late and for me, and we got by. But what we're really proud of this week is we just missed our 16 parlay by 1 point, Robert. I know. So, and I was the loser. I usually am when we go 5-1. But Robert, congratulations on your 3-0. Your first 3-0 of this year. And we'll get it. We'll get it.
We're gonna get a 6-0.
We also encourage you to bet our games individually.
Yep.
So, and I've been putting. I don't know if you saw or Tricia told you, but I put out a 9-bet Sunday morning wager bet.
I saw that.
And I won 7, and no one gave me any kudos. And
you were like, "Where's my life?"
Yeah, I think it had to do with I had the Bears. They saw me have the Bears plus 13, and they didn't look at the rest. They go, "I'm an idiot." Had the Bears, and I missed the Jared Goff by 7.5 feet. I got a funny story there, though. He was under the yardage. If the Rams get a first down, they wouldn't have got the ball back. And I was 17 yards under exactly. It was a half yard. The pass, 17-yard to Khalif Raymond with a minute left, then a 2-yard pass, then an interception, game over. So there was the 2.5 yards right there.
And that's why gamblers watch the games to the end.
Yes.
Because there's always something involved still.
And
even though the game's been decided.
Can you tell me how the heck that Atlanta gave up a 13-point lead with like 7 minutes to go or whatever that was?
That was crazy.
That was our one loser at 1 point away. But funny thing, folks, is, again, the interesting part of this was we had Thursday's game in our 6, and I bet it at the 3.5, which, you know what, we can stick to that now. Yeah. Now that you can pick your own lines, I'm not going to give out what lines were there. I'm going to give the lines that I believe we can bet, which I did last week. 3.5 was the Denver line, and they won by exactly 3, lost by 3. So we won that one by a half. By the time Atlanta got to their game, they were 1.5 and would have covered that. But to do a parlay, you can't just I'll wait to bet Atlanta until Sunday morning. So that was just a weird kind of thing.
Yeah. Moment, so.
And I believe I have the Thursday game this week, so we're going to get that game in there. So lots of fun planned for us this week. Let's get into it. How about this for our? If we start with 5 things, that's right, 5. 5 things. The first thing is in the NFL, if it rains, it runs, baby. 3 of the 4 running backs that were in the rain, the 2 late games went off. Everybody went crazy except for the Seattle team, which, we had a banged up 8-1A, and Rashad Penny still
have 6 carries for 9 yards.
I thought it was 7 carries for 8 yards.
Yeah, whatever it was.
Oh my gosh! I picked him up just because I had a Sunday. I got to play one of these guys on Monday.
Dude's lost his
and I played Collins, and that didn't work out, but I still won. Again, that raining. Garoppolo clearly his hands aren't set up for rain balls at all. No doubt. Number 2, Derek Carr breakout season continues.
Yeah.
Without Waller, without Jacobs for part of the game, Raiders still underrated.
John Gruden.
Without Gruden, they look better.
Right. Definitely was mentoring him.
They're showing up every week. And Waller didn't play. I don't even know who had the yardage. Did Ruggs have a game?
Drake.
I apologize for not looking at that
game. They got Kenyon Drake.
Drake had a good game.
They got Jacobs the ball. They had Edwards the ball. They had Ruggs the ball.
That's their guys. There they got guys.
They're really doing a good job of spreading the ball around. I mean, even when Waller plays, he's not getting high volume. It's since like week 1 or 2.
Number 3 is the one we got to just get this out of the way, push it past us, put it behind me. All of us, we all missed this one. We all missed Jamar Chase. I'm starting to really get angry. Yeah, I'm starting to get really angry at myself too. By the way, 201 yards or whatever. I'm really not happy, and again because to me, an idiot drafted him. Sorry, based on what I saw.
Well,
I love T. Higgins too. I love T. Higgins.
Anybody who drafted Chase went against all the narratives that were.
You got to do it. Sooner or later, it's going to happen, I guess. And he still was like a fifth. He still was going right around T. Higgins' time. Yeah. He wasn't waiting until 7 or 8.
Yeah, because it was the Higgins or Chase. Which one you want? And
right.
Everybody's like, well, Chase.
I think T's coming, finally healthy. T's that bigger guy.
Yeah.
When Burrow starts getting some pressure, T's going to be the guy. He's the bigger guy. He's the bigger target.
Red zone target.
Yeah.
I mean, if it's scoring long touchdowns, obviously Chase has been scoring long touchdowns.
I mean, how long can you do that?
Now, how long?
Randy Moss did it, I guess.
Well, you can't keep that up. At some point, it's gonna be red zone, and Higgins will start scoring.
Right.
So, they got to remember they got CJ too.
Right.
The tight end.
Yeah. Gosh, he's tearing it up. 4 touchdowns of 20 yards or more.
Joe Burrow looks good.
He does.
He
the
looks like
Bengals look good. I got a little Bengals segments when we get to the Bengals. We'll do that. We also got Ernest Johnson wrong. Dang it. I didn't even have any in my list, but again, that was a bit of a rainy game too there.
Yeah.
But we nailed Tua. So if you got, what's funny is Tua won Tua leagues for me. So way to go, 4 touchdowns. Yeah, was like number 3 quarterback scorer this week. Beat Lamar.
Only guy with 4
Yeah,
touchdowns.
beat Lamar. Beat a lot of the top guys.
Yeah.
But I mean, perfect timing for me since I had Dak off. Hope, cross fingers that Dak plays. Okay, number 5 is the behind the lines duo hitting our stride. Season 3, 5-1 betting line, undefeated week play teams wise during by mageddon. We hope to continue to provide you the best fantasy analysis to prepare you every week for a hard-fought battle of fantasy football.
Yes.
Let's get into it. All right, dumps this week. Easy dump. We're going to start with a guy that I vacillated on playing with you, Rob. Right. You got to go. I almost texted you. I mean, I don't want to bother Robert during the weekend. I'm like, I'm going to text him. I vacillated between Bateman and Rondell. Bateman, I go usage. Rondell's got the matchup against Houston. He's got more time in. We don't know what Bateman's got. I played Bateman's 11, 3 catches for 80 yards, over Rondell's 2 catches for 17. Yeah. 3 catches for 17 yards. There's a problem there, and that is now they got Ertz. What's wrong with Rondell is his yards per attempt are so small, he has to do the yak or he has to collect. He's not collecting catches, i.e. Jarvis Landry, i.e. Randall Cobb.
He's never going to have 10 targets on that team, right? That's never going to happen.
He's got to go. I mean, until there's an injury. I mean, Kirk and AJ are definitely ahead of him on that.
I mean, they got Ertz now. They got Edmonds. They got they've spread the ball around. I mean, Rondell's, what his top targets this year is probably 5 or 6.
We got some names here at the top this week for dumps, and we don't have a whole lot to pick. I was not really happy with the picking, so I even have Marlon Mack higher than a player that's not even playing higher than most viable options this week. I just think every once in a while you run into everybody's up, everybody's got everybody sort of.
Yeah.
Injuries.
I think the waiver wire has been kind of distilled, especially everybody knowing the buys were coming up.
I mean, I was just not into the complete high. I mean, all the shows I watched, Darius Johnson. I just sometimes you don't buy it, and sometimes we get bitten. But that's okay. Next on my list, a player in the last 2 games. I'm telling him to drop, Robert. He has 20 targets in the last 2 games. Do you know? He also has 25 yards in those games.
Anybody.
It's Robbie Anderson. He's got to go.
Robbie Anderson.
He has 11-9, 20 targets the last 2 games, and he has 25 yards for those. So what is that? 1.5?
He sounds
like 1.25 yards
like Allen Robinson
per catch. Funny you should mention him. It's that time. I wrote, "Hey Rob, it's time. Let me tell you, OPH. That's my new phrase. OPH. Other people's headaches. Just like I did with Gaskins on somebody else's roster. He got played against me when he got like 3 or 4. Yeah. Let A-Rob be somebody else's problem. Here's some crazy stats for you guys.
What are you're chasing it?
Right. With all those top wide receivers out last week, he still posted wide receiver 69 numbers with a 12% target share on 32 throws from Justin Fields. What's 12% of 32? 3 and I guess that worked. He probably had 4 targets then, right? Just based on the math right there. So,
I mean, if you're still holding on to Allen Robinson, you got a couple things going.
You're losing probably.
You're losing, right? You don't have a winning record. There's no way.
You took him as a number 1 at the very least.
You took him as a 1 or a low 2, but either way, it's not happening. You should have moved on by now. Picked up one of the waiver wire. Somebody off the waiver wire.
Emmanuel Sanders would have been a good early.
Emmanuel Sanders. You could name a laundry list of people. 69.
Right. My one buddy's. I'm happy he's getting Jerry Jeudy back. That'll help. Another guy that since that will say Tim Patrick's probably got to go. Not a great game last week.
Yeah, without Jeudy back, with
Jeudy Sutton, the Noah. I mean, Jeudy and Sutton are a dynamic duo. They're gonna if I think Bridgewater takes a step forward too.
Well, he's gonna be in Keeler's keys this week.
All right, I love it. One of my favorite players. I love players that play. Okay, Mecole Hardman, got to go. Kelsey and Hill both were in and out of the game. And he still wasn't the guy.
No.
And now I guess Kansas City's a bad team, Robert. Is that? I mean, you have to say it. That's a flawed team in some way. There's some flaws there. I wouldn't say they're bad, but they've got some gapers. And they got what they spent on that offensive line, guys. And man,
they're definitely. I mean, like somebody else was saying this. They said that there used to be a gap between Mahomes and Reed and that team and the rest of the offenses in the league. Now the other offenses would kind of come back. Kansas City's kind of come back. You bracket Kelsey and Hill, and then you put pressure on Mahomes. I mean,
because the run game's suspect.
The run game's suspect. Nobody else stepped up as wide receivers to help Hill out.
They're figuring it out.
I mean, people ain't stupid.
Yeah, they
keep watching film of you, and they're not gonna just keep let you bang them in the head. Somebody's going, wait a second, we got to do something about this.
It's like, how do we get Pat Mahomes off all these commercial deals?
Right. How do we?
Because he's getting rich on being, throwing 50 touchdowns a season.
You're starting to see a little bit of Mahomes. Why a lot of teams were a little wary of drafting him. He was a gunslinger.
Yeah, he's a little bit
the ball over.
Unwilling to take a sack.
Throw the ball away. Give up on a plate. Check down. Take something a little, not taking his shots, and
you know what I like last week,
and kind of cavalier with football. Turnovers.
He did have
2 turnovers in the last 4 games.
He did have guys going the wrong direction. I was last week. I saw he pump faked when he was over the line of scrimmage. So I don't think he's going to throw that.
I saw somebody on Monday Night Football do that too.
Yeah, you're not going to.
Winston did it. He went pump fake. The guy jumped, and I'm like,
he's like 5 yards back.
Yeah, he's past the line of scrimmage. What are you doing?
Rock and roll. Okay, who's next on my list? Any running back not named Damian Harris. I'm done. Hey, Bolden had a game. Bolden had his targets last 3 games 7, 4, 1. I don't know which order, but that's them. I don't know what you're doing with that. We got screwed by. Keeler's Keys got screwed by Stevenson, got screwed by Belichick. I think we're both in agreement. We're done with this idiot. I guess they missed one. They said he missed one block. Well, why don't you tell us that one before we're here?
One block. He got the quarterback sack. Now he's benched. He's a healthy scratch. And the game script set up exactly how we talked about. There would be garbage time points for the backup running backs and everybody in that game.
J.J. Taylor, don't think of him. He played the entire fourth quarter, and that's when he got his touchdown. 2 touchdowns. I am not going to suggest in the moment when we get to waiver wires, I'm not going to suggest any of those guys. OPH, other people's headaches. Okay, 2 words, drop Garop. I think Lance is going to be back. Lance can be back soon.
Probably next week.
I think that I didn't believe that Garoppolo's passed the audition. I think that was they were looking for something big after after you wait 2 weeks to play like that, and that was a pretty horrendous. Debo was the only player on the field. That was the only player he looked at. It was that's all they have, and that's all.
I think the writing's on the wall. I mean, Lance would still be starting if he didn't get hurt. I mean, they would now have gone back to Garoppolo. So.
Right.
Garoppolo's gonna be out.
Malcolm Brown, IR, gone. All right, and of course our last drop will be here every week. OBJ, another again is dumpable. He's undraftable going forward until he retires. Another again, they have a good game. They had a pretty decent game. Peeps pulled the groin, didn't play, so that don't count. I had him. You know what? I bet $8 on over his yardage. I'm like, wait, even in there, he got a groin. They gave it back to me. They give it back if he doesn't play. They give it back to me.
Right.
They didn't take it.
But I mean, you could see OBJ.
His shoulder.
He's
he doesn't.
not good, but
he's trying to be a tough guy. No shoulder surgery.
He did the old. I'm gonna play while I'm hurt. He's on the sideline. He can't lift his arm.
Another 2-catch effort.
And now Baker Mayfield's all banged up.
Right. So it's Case Keenum probably for sure.
Give up on that passing.
I'm done with that passing game in general. Just again, stat wise, he has 2 catches in that game. He has 2 catches in 3 of his last 4 games. That is.
You can find something.
You can find
waivers.
Holes, boy, I vacillated on this one. I don't know how you feel about it. Only 4 carries, 1 fantasy point for Mike Davis.
Yeah, I mean that's. Carolina's gone in the pooper. They've gone into crapper. You know, Sam Darnold's obviously not playing well. And
wait, no, Mike Davis is on Atlanta now. Atlanta now.
I was thinking Chubb Hubbard.
Right, Mike Davis.
Yeah, he's definitely gotten the back seat to Patterson. I mean,
they out of the break.
Got a 14 run from the goal line.
14 carries over 4, I think it was. The big one here is that we should consider is teams make big changes after the bye usually.
Yep.
And one of those is Kyle Pitts. Yay. Right? I mean, we need him. And going in and coming out, Pitts has been solid. But I think they're going to go Cordell Patterson, and they're still mixing in Wayne Gallman. But again, my thought here is that he's still top 10 in targets, Mike Davis, just even with this bad game. The usage was high enough.
You definitely don't want to. Obviously,
I'm not ready to drop. I'm holding.
Davis.
He was still in for 60% of the snaps.
He's a hole.
Whatever that means. He was.
They were chasing the points most of the game. They were throwing the ball because you could throw the ball against Miami.
Right on. Oh my gosh.
And they couldn't stop Pitts. You know.
And so my thought if they're leaving him in for 60%, clearly he's holding up his blocking, so that keeps him viable to get some balls.
I think Mike Davis is a great example of what's happened this year with running backs. They're getting the playing time, 60% of the snaps, but then the production's not there for these running backs. I mean, if you could go back to your draft, you'd probably be like, there's a bunch of dudes that I drafted that I should have never gone near.
That Mike Davis and Gaskin.
Gaskin,
the Gordon Williams thing's been a little bit weird.
And we all overdrafted those running backs thinking you would get
something.
A little better,
RB2,
a little better floor. And you're just not getting a floor on these running backs. They're a waste of time. You should have drafted 3 wide receivers, a tight end, and then your quarterback. And then 0 running backs, some plan, and just took whoever was left. Because all the draft stock that you spent on dudes in the 2nd and 3rd round are a waste of time.
Right, you got that for sure.
Waste of time.
No doubt about it. All right, next hold I have, and you might not want to believe this, but again, he had 0 targets last week. Amon St. Brown, he got Jalen Ramsey. That's what happened there. Yeah. Here's my stat for you. Yeah. He's averaged 6 catches a game the last 3 previous games. 6 catches. Remember we talked. The yardage wasn't there. It was a goofy game, but the catches are there. All right, next coming out. Well, I'm not supposed to go with the other. Ty Williams, again, hold for trade deadline, we think, along with Marlon Mack.
Yeah.
Put Marlon Mack ahead of him, I guess,
yes,
on that. But if you're looking for one of the guys that might get a trade to get to someplace to play, I like those guys. I still say Higbee's a hold, still getting the targets. He's elite snaps.
Yep.
Like he played all the snaps again. Callaway, usage, yay system. But wait. What did I write? I wanted to write something funny. Wait, Callaway, usage, yay, system, nay. Usage, yay. Because he has to be used. There's no one else there. He still had 7 targets, 4 for 30 crap. I mean, you played him if you got him. But again, he's a hold because he's got to do.
Another game where it was raining. They were on the road. It was kind of not a high passing volume. This week against Tampa, I think Saints are going to have to be chasing some points. We'll see what they do this week.
Right on. I also I just wrote the words Jarrett Patterson. So I let us down last week, although Gibson got in. I say he's a hold, certainly if you have Gibson, because Gibson got out-snapped by J.D. McKissick. JD got a bigger game. Gibson got, the cheese ball in that one league, traded Gibson again after trading for him, like cheese. But I think Jared Patterson's a hold based on he's going to get some time. I think
it's only a matter of time before they have to rest. They have to sit Gibson and rest him.
If you've drafted him, Jared's probably available.
I don't know what he's doing.
I dropped him because Gibson played and I needed somebody else. But
yeah.
I think if you have him, keep him. All right, waivers. Top 5, no matter the bye. Good guys get dropped when you have buys like last week, so look into that.
Yes.
Like Chase Edmonds.
Yes.
You said Kittle got dropped in one of his leagues.
Yeah,
Chase Edmonds
got dropped. Dudes that, just like he's on a bye, I got to get rid of him. I got to get somebody.
You're going to see some names that you're like, whoa, okay. Someone dropped Kadarius Toney in one of mine, too. So, he's going to be something. All right, and I'm on top of this, I want to say Mitchell should have never been dropped, but he's only owned in 52% of leagues, which is crazy.
Really?
He had 18 touches in 3 out of 4 games before Sunday. So he should, again, and he had a stellar Sunday.
He had a shoulder.
Trey Sermon, an afterthought. He didn't play. He didn't play. He didn't play.
McHasty ain't doing much. Wilson's supposed to be back in a couple, 2-3 weeks, but I think right now it's the Mitchell show.
Right, and I thought maybe I was jumping the gun, but I did drop Herbert. If you can get Herbert, maybe a week or 2 more, just like a Booker got a week or 2 more. It was a choice between those 2 guys actually. Booker had actually is 4 points less. I would have been better off playing 18 points from Herbert, but I thought Damien Williams was going to play more. And it looks like Damien Williams is like not the guy at all. So what are you doing there?
Well, I think
what if you picked him up? You're like, oh my gosh, I got a guy for a month. Not.
Nope. I mean, it's obviously got draft stock in Herbert. They like him. They said even when Montgomery comes back, he's going to see like probably 8 to 10 touches a game. So even when Montgomery comes back, don't be so quick to get rid of Herbert.
Right. That's the guy the Bears should trade. Montgomery. This is the time. We want the Herbert. Only running back to get 100 yards on Tampa, baby. Yep. That's the only one.
Yep.
We're into the league pretty far, too. Okay, that's the 5. No, wait. No, I didn't get to the 5 yet. Number 1, Gainwell, you got him. Sanders week to week. Crazy stat for him. 23% target share in that game. That's outrageous for a running back.
Crazy.
They were in catch-up mode the whole way. They were getting out. They almost came back in that one. Yeah. 33-22, weird final there. But the negative game strip goes well for Gainwell. We don't know how long Hurts is going to be there.
Boston Scott's in a degree, and Gainwell's going to get at least 15 touches a game, with Sanders out.
So, right.
He's the rookie. He's definitely a top running back waiver-wise that you could probably pick up.
Good time for my trivia question for the week. Who is the number 1 fourth quarter quarterback this season?
I'm going to go with Jalen.
It is. It's Jalen.
If somebody had a good line, not my line, he goes after 3 quarters, Jalen Hurts has 12 points. He's well on his way to his 40.
Yes, exactly. That's hilarious, yes.
It's this fourth quarter garbage. Have you ever heard Kurt Warner talking about fantasy football? Kurt Warner,
yeah,
Hall of Fame quarterback. He says, I will not play fantasy football because all these guys get all these garbage points in the fourth quarter when the game's out of reach.
I hear you.
In fantasy, and he goes, I just can't stand losing to production that occurred in a game that didn't matter. And he goes, that's why I don't play fantasy football.
And I get it.
Jalen Hurts is the prime example
of
that statement.
The only player to skill score 20 every week. He did it again. He does it again. And what's at the heart of this is I've been reading some stuff. I think the mustache going to get some starts here.
They said that at some point, Gardner Minshew, the stash, will start.
And in more quarterback news, Tyrod Taylor ready to practice.
Yep. Tyrod Taylor back.
Plays hard. Again, lost his job in a very crappy way in the Chargers. That was really lame. I mean, we all love Herbert, right? But that wasn't fair for Tyrod to lose his job that way, in my opinion. So, how about
he's gonna be back?
That's all right. Number 2 out of top 5, I say yes to MVS.
Yep. He's last man standing.
Going to be activated. They're saying he's going to be thrown into a lead role. I think this week. I hate to play guys I'm always let's look at him for 1 week, but I don't rank. I mean, can you throw
Got
10?
no chinless.
Can you throw 10 balls to Randall Cobb before he breaks in half?
No,
you
definitely need another guy, a complimentary. I mean, Tanyan.
Tanya's going to have a break. Tanya's going to be fine.
Play this week.
Tanya's going to have a monster. I'm going to have him in all my dailies. I guarantee you, Tanya will be in. I won't take another tight end this week. Right now,
MBS going to get some targets this week. I mean, he got no choice. They're going to be chasing points. I mean, Arizona, it's going to be a game. They're going to have to put points up. So who's going to throw the ball to?
Right, 6.5. You got a dart, Equiminius St. Brown. He could do it. Again, he's shown us a little bit here. There. All right, number 3. I never put a quarterback here, but I'm gonna. Trevor Lawrence, rarely do it. I'm getting excited about what again. Jacksonville added Dan Arnold. This Jamal Agnew guy up and I mean they're not missing a beat with Shark. I think they look a little bit better. Latavius has that game-breaking speed. Yep. They got Marv. They got James. I mean, this is a team coming. They got an easy schedule. The bye is over with. I think Trevor Lawrence is
playing hard defense this week. Seattle Seahawks.
Great matchup against Seattle, right? And he's averaging 5.7. That's 6 rushes almost a game. The last 3. All those rushes need help. Yep. This offense has talent, folks. I never have a tight end here either. And folks have him way down, even below rookie Seals Jones. No way. It's time to get the Bengal bandwagon. C.J. Uzama, 2 touchdowns. Again, let's get back to it. 4 touchdowns of 20 yards or more. That doesn't happen for a tight end. No. That could have a lot to do with the system. Burrow, all the talent around him. I mean, we've got a lot of great guys around him.
Yes.
Who doesn't love Tyler Boyd? We didn't even mention his name yet.
Yeah. I mean, you're definitely talking about guys who are stretching the field. You got to respect that. You got to drop that cover 2 back. And this guy's one-on-one. They said he got good rapport with Burrow. And most people have him right outside that top 10, like 12, 13. But he's definitely with the bullet coming into that top 10. I mean,
my question is, can he be the next Schultz? No. Think of the team.
Now we're gonna
think of the players around him. Think of the system.
Right.
Quarterback is very similar.
What happens to Schultz because now Gallup's back. Now you can see CJ sneaking into that top 10. A lot of people still have Tanyan hanging around. They have Schultz. You could see CJ really starting to sneak into that top 10.
I did. I wrote Gallup on the side. I forgot. Yeah, he's in. I'll take him number 1 over everybody. Just because he's the name on Dallas. The bye is over. That's the guy. Unless you need a running back, that's the guy I would take, honestly.
Dallas is averaging almost over 35 points a game. So there's going to be fantasy goodness there. I mean, you want any piece of the puzzle that you could get. They're kind of like the Buffalo of the NFC. You want a piece of their puzzle.
Right on. Number 5 is Marlon Mack. Again, there's not a lot of guys there. Again, worth it. If he doesn't go, you drop him in a week.
Right.
This is all you got to wait till next Tuesday.
This is the time to pick him up.
Yep.
The trade deadline's Tuesday. There's rumors that Baltimore, Kansas City, these are teams that you want. If you pick up Marlon Mack and he goes to Kansas City or Baltimore, you're gonna go. I just got an RB2 with a bullet coming at you. Thank you, freebie off of the waivers.
Scratch off.
Yeah,
winner.
You got a little scratch off.
You got to get it. I love it, dude.
He steps right in there.
He's going to do it.
Those teams.
All right, there's not much left here. I'm just going to run through this. I'm going to throw. This is going to be fast as hell. Boston Scott, he did get the goal line carries. Mm-hmm. He got way out snapped by Gainwell. Yeah. I'm sorry if you have to play him. I'd rather. It's right there. Salvon Ahmed. Again, coaching's not committed to Gaskin. Who had a nice game. Again, OPH. Solid game. Again, I'm on average 21 yards. 21 touches a game in the 3 games he filled in for Gaskin last year. Yeah. So you have that. He does have some. Certainly, if he's the last man standing, you probably know he's gonna get the bulk of the runs.
Right.
That's pretty cool. And P. Ryan, 12 carries in the blowout.
I like Ryan. I got him on Keeler's keys.
All right, cool.
Definitely somebody that's a very sneaky player right now. Very interesting.
12 carries in the blowout. Cincinnati is good. I even said, you know who's getting scarfed up? Cincinnati's kicker. Cincinnati's D.
Yeah, all of a sudden,
getting crazy, man.
Everybody wants a piece of
Cincinnati. I love, I'm going crazy over it.
I picked the Bengals straight up last weekend.
Yeah, you did.
I picked them. I had them against spread, but I picked them straight up.
On your confidence? Nice.
The confidence.
That was done. That was over.
I kind of have a feeling they were going to put it on the Ravens. The Ravens defense.
Yeah, without the guy. What's that? Marcus Peters. Not too hot. He's a perfect. P. Ryan's perfect bench spot for you Mixon owners.
Perfect. I mean, yes.
Here's some guys I guess are weekly plays at wideout. If you pass on MVS, how about Slayton? Looks again to be featured this week.
On Keeler's keys.
We always get there. I mean,
we'll get there.
9 targets last week.
Shepard's banged up.
Ingram's
banged
Barkley.
up. Barkley's banged up.
It's Pettis. It's Pettis and this guy.
And this guy.
And who's and then the tall guy. The tall guy's suiting up this week.
Maybe. But yeah, you got a bunch of banged up guys there. So
I got Ty Hilton next. He's not practicing, so if he doesn't practice, don't take him then. But if you got time to wait, again, Tennessee second most points to wide receivers. Ty's only rostered in 36%. That's people are really, what's the word? Tepid on the TY. They're not really excited for the game breaking.
Been burned the last couple of years,
right? Pittman stepping up, maybe getting the guy.
Stepping up. I mean, Hilton's burned some people who took him as like a second wide receiver 2 last year, and he had like 700 yards. I think he's one of those guys that people have been burned by, so they don't want any part of it. So
I got Randall Cobb next. I said I even like the. I like St. Brown at 6'5" a little better actually. It sounds crazy. I don't know the history's there.
I like Cobb this week because Rodgers will pepper him in the slot. I think Cobb gets at least 6 catches this week. Maybe a touchdown.
Dave, if you're watching, then I'm MVS over Cobb. I just think there's a chance for the bigger moment there with MVS.
But I think Rodgers got this. I brought Cobb to the team. Now's the time for me to
gotta use him,
kind of thing. And I like Cobb this week.
Jamal Agnew. A lot of coach speak says he's the best separator on the team. He's got 12 targets in the 2 games that DJ Chark. So this guy seems to be a man of his word. As Urban Meyer, we're actually hoping for some big things out of Dan Arnold too. But Jamal Agnew, again, take a look at him, rookie guy. Dante Pettis playing again because that's the other guy. We mentioned him again. KC's Sev D, not very good.
Not good.
No. Here you go.
During my Keeler's keys, I'll talk about Kansas City's D, but not good. Not good against the pass.
Yeah, I'm happy to say this guy's name because Robert laughed at me when we brought this guy up before. 4 out of his last 6 games with 6 targets in each of those. Khalif Raymond, he's doing something with him as well. He had 115 yards last week. Someone's got to get the yardage there. It's not going to be 0.
Get it.
He's 5'9". He's 5'9". That's why nobody who likes the 5'9" guy. Waterbug.
You're talking about a team that's not undefeated. It doesn't have a win. They got Jared Goff running around. Somebody's got to catch the ball. Somebody has to. And Hawkinson's kind of gone into the milk carton. He's on the side of it. So
yeah, for sure.
So now, this guy doing his thing.
Need a dart. Gabe Davis without Dawson Knox. Maybe more. Again, 4. We're looking for 4 wide receiver sets there just for a few weeks.
Yeah.
Hit the tight ends against past CJ. If Dan Arnold's available again, he's had 10 more days to review the playbook. I think he's going to get costly drop, cost him some snaps. I think. Right in his face. Right in his face.
I got him on Keeler's keys.
Okay, can't wait.
Seattle. I like the little Jacksonville against Seattle.
Rock on. How about this? We're still on this guy. If you haven't picked up on him, Pat Freiermuth. Pitt ran the most 12 personnel they have all season without Juju. That meant to me that was just to get Freiermuth on the field to be their underneath guy that Juju used to be.
Juju's gone. Yep.
Season high 7 targets. Season high 17% of the target share. And it is Big Ben. We know he's not throwing deep.
No.
And the bye is out of the way. Again, I'm back to Tommy Sweeney again too. Tommy Sweeney, only tight end on the Bills roster. Coach says he's got a big opportunity.
Coach said he got an opportunity.
How could he not? He's the only other tight end on the roster, so he's going to have the only guy. Yep. Okay, time to move on to my favorite segment. I get to shut up now and listen and take my own notes. Keeler's keys. Not a great week. Again, 2 guys didn't play.
Yeah, 2 guys
but
didn't play.
Bridgewater had a game. Geno did okay. He had rushing at least, but Bridgewater had the game.
I would say Geno was okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And people
I wouldn't say
Not-
it was
not
our
your
best,
best.
not the best week.
but we went 5-1 if you hit that.
Yeah.
I have a new segment this week called the Harlover, by the way. Did you see that in there?
I did.
All right.
I
So
I can't wait for that.
it's going to be great.
How about you watch World Series?
Oh, my God. I'm
Did Charlie Morton get his ankle snapped? My goodness.
How do you break your leg throwing a pitch?
Well, no. He got hit with a pitch. He got hit with a batted ball before that.
Okay.
And he tried to gut it out that inning, and then he went, I can't keep going.
I'm broken. Okay.
Yeah, broken over here.
What a badass, though. I didn't know what a great career that guy's actually really had.
He's had a really great career. I mean, he's
Good
what,
for you,
37, 38.
Game 7's king or gun. Game 7 king. Good for you, Charlie Morton, and a good first win for Atlanta. I expected it.
Oh.
I know you want Braves.
You
You
know,
live in-
I
I know. You got to do it. You got to do it.
All right, we're going to go move on.
Right on.
All right.
Wait, Keeler's Keys. This is our segment for the people watching for the very first time. He's going to pick 2 players from each positional player guys, quarterback, running back, wide receiver, and tight end, that are going to exceed their weekly output this week. He goes deep. He goes far. He's looking for guys to spike in weeks when you need them.
This is going to be probably a Keeler Keys first. I'm picking a quarterback the second time in a row because this man is getting no respect. And I'm going to get him some respect at some point. I don't know.
My guy? Is it my
You're
guy?
Teddy Bridgewater.
Teddy Bridgewater.
He's
Love
ranked 19th. Ron, last week, 2 touchdowns again. His last 3 games, 2 touchdowns, 3 touchdowns, 2 touchdowns. Teddy Bridgewater is throwing for touchdowns. He's got a team around him. He's got Font. He got Judy back this week. And who's he? Now,
Sutton's the king.
now the stat is, who are they playing? Stat time.
Stat time.
They're playing the Redskins. And that's why he's on there twice in a row. The Redskins, against the pass. How many teams in the NFL?
32.
They are 32nd in touchdown passes allowed. 19 touchdown
That's
passes
amazing.
they've allowed. That's over 2.5 a game.
I drafted that defense. What is wrong with him?
You can almost book that Bridgewater's going to throw at least 2 touchdowns this week. And yardage, how many teams in the NFL? 32. They're 32nd in yardage, averaging and allowing 300.6 yards per game. This is a setup for Denver's passing game. They're going to throw the ball. Bridgewater's going to probably get that 275, 280 game and at least 2 touchdowns. He's probably on waivers in a lot of leagues. He should be starting in 2 quarterback leagues. First time I've probably gotten 2 players 2 weeks in a row because I really feel good about this matchup against the Redskins. My second quarterback, I was looking at the quarterbacks outside the top 20, and there's really not a bunch of great matchups. So I went with a quarterback that I think is going to end up in the top 10 this week that is ranked outside the top 10. His name, Ryan Tannehill. He's ranked 13th this week. I guarantee you he will end up as a top 10 quarterback this week. Ron, I was sitting there, and as I like to sit at my house, and I was watching the Kansas City-Tennessee game. And I never realized what a weapon Derrick Henry is to the passing game.
Oh, the run-pass option.
You have to respect the play action so much. All they did against Kansas City was either hand the ball to Henry or go play action. Everybody froze. Tannehill was 21 of 27. He was just peppering them. You cannot double cover anybody. You cannot drop back in coverage. You can't come off the line of scrimmage against Tennessee when they're rumbling Derrick Henry down your throat. It's such a they went back to the play action to get A.J. Brown back. I mean, Kansas City had no clue. They kind of went off the gas pedal. They were up 27-0. They could have scored 40, 50 points on them. They had no answer for it. I think the Colts are going to be kind of in the same boat. The Colts defense 16th against the pass, 243 a game. They're tied for 31st, though, in touchdown passes allowed at 16. For secondary, allows a lot of touchdown passes. I think you could book Tannehill for at least 2 touchdown passes and at least 275, 280 yards. It's just like Bridgewater.
Bam.
Boom. So I think, and I read a stat. In the last 6 games, the Colts have allowed Derrick Henry an average of 140 yards and like 1.5 touchdowns. So I think the Colts are going to look in their mirror and go, well, we're going to have to sell out to stop the run. That, in turn, is going to let Tannehill have the open passing. I think, in turn, he's going to attack through the air and get the Colts. I think they're going to have to sell out because they've just been getting their ass kicked by Derrick Henry.
Have you described a wager there?
It could be. Think about that.
Tennessee's only what, +1 or -1?
Who?
Tennessee against Mother.
I think they're -1.
It's 1.
So think about
Pick
that.
the winner.
I like Tennessee's rolling. They got that offense
They
clicking.
beat the Buffalo Bills.
They beat the Buffalo Bills in Kansas City back-to-back weeks.
Yes.
And I'm telling you, I watched the offense, and that play action's a thing of beauty. You don't know what's coming at you. It's like a video game. You're pounding them with the Henry, and you're play actioning them over the top. So think about that. At running back, we got our friend from Cincinnati, Samaje Perine. Is that how you say his name? Samaje Perine. He's ranked 41st. Last week against Baltimore, 11 carries, 52 yards, touchdown, 1 catch, 23 yards. 2 weeks ago, when he was number 1. He had a game off. He was 11 for 59, 4 for 24 in the air, and another touchdown.
Yeah, he had COVID.
He had the COVID. Now, if you watched any of the Cincinnati game, which I was watching part of that game too, Joe Mixon, even when he's having a decent game, seems to always get banged up somehow. He's always on the sideline kind of limping, and they're like, "Are you okay?" He's like, "Yeah, I guess I'm all right."
Yeah, late touchdown.
And so this guy's going to have a role. He's getting those 11 to 12, 13 touches in a top-notch offense. We know the Bengals. We talked about the Bengals.
They're in first place, I think.
The Bengals are in first place. They got Burrow. They got all these things going on. This guy's on waivers. This guy was on waivers in both my leagues. I'm like, interesting. He's playing the Jet defense, 16th on the ground in yardage, 127.5 yards a game. They're allowing, but we said there's 32 teams. They were 31st in touchdowns allowed. They've allowed 11 rushing touchdowns. I bet you Mixon and this guy get a touchdown, at least one apiece. They're going to pound on the Jets with the ball on the ground. And there's a good chance with the game script, they're going to be blowing out the Jets.
You can play the fourth quarter.
And then the fourth quarter, here he comes.
Because Mixon's not going to play.
They're not going to put Mixon in garbage time with his
34 to 10 or whatever.
With his banged up body. They're not going to bang him up. They're going to let this guy play in the fourth quarter. And they're
going to spring him.
They're going to spring him. This guy's going to get a bunch of touches in the fourth quarter. I'll bet you he gets at least a touchdown.
I love it.
He should not be on waivers. My second running back, same kind of game script. I'm thinking this is going to kind of how the game's going to go. I like Sony Michel against Houston. Ranked 47th last week. Not the greatest game against Detroit in the world. They had 2 carries for 4 yards. But the games before, he had 9 carries and 11 carries. I think this is going to be a similar game to the Jet game in that the Rams are favored by 14.5 points. They're going to be smoking the Houston Oilers, Houston Texans. The run defense, there's 32 teams. There's only one team allowing more touchdowns than the Jets. It's the Texans.
Oh, my.
So they're at 12 touchdowns allowed rushing. They're 32nd. They're 31st in yardage on the ground, 145.7 yards a game. So the Rams are going to run the ball a little bit, I think, especially in the fourth quarter. Once again, we got Darrell Henderson. He's banged up. You don't want to overcook him in a game that you're winning. So they'll put Sony Michel in. I think it's a garbage time situation. So I like those guys in the 40s. And then at wide receiver, couple names we kind of already touched upon. Jerry Jeudy's coming back. He's ranked 36th. Week 1. He hasn't played since week 1.
And he crushed week 1.
Crushed week 1. 7 targets, 6 catches, 72 yards against Giants. We talked about the Washington pass defense, 32nd in touchdown passes, 32nd in yardage. I think he's back. I think he's back to probably at least 7 to 10 targets, 6-7 catches, probably a touchdown from Bridgewater.
I have him in my lineup.
Got him in the lineup already, so we don't have to tell Ron. Second wide receiver, guy we talked about a little bit, ranked 52nd this week, Darius Slate. He's playing Kansas City. Week 7, he had 9 targets, 5 catches, 63 yards against Carolina. He was gone for 3 weeks. Last week, he had 28% of the target share. Kansas City defense. Let's talk a little stats.
Stat time.
They've allowed 35.1 fantasy points of wide receivers per game. That's 5th worst. Wide receivers are going to get their fantasy points against Kansas City. They're 25th in yardage per game, allowed 275.7 yards, and they're 20th in touchdown passes, 13. So Kansas City, You're going to throw the ball against them. Daniel Jones is kind of, Shepard's banged up. Galladay's banged up. Tony's banged up. Ingram's banged up. So it's kind of last man standing. You got Slayton and you got Pettis. I think you could look for another game of at least 9-10 targets from Slayton. They're going to be chasing some points. They're 10-point dogs. They're Kansas City Chiefs. So I think you're going to see the Giants throwing the ball, especially in the second half, trying to chase the points on Monday Night Football. I think Slayton will have a good game. Tight end. The reason I brought this guy in because I seen him dropped in 2 leagues. Jared Cook dropped because of the bye week. Last week the Chargers were on the bye. He's ranked 15th this week. He's coming off the bye. 7 targets, 4 for 25 against Baltimore. The New England's probably middle of the road against tight ends, but I think Belichick's modus operandi has been to take away the weapons. He'll probably try to take away Mike Williams and Keenan Allen. You work the slot. You work the in-betweens with Jared Cook. I think he's going to have at least 6-7 catches this game against the Patriots. And like I said, a lot of leagues, and I saw my leagues, people drop Jared Cook. They don't consider him
I like to have
startable tight end.
I like to have one good tight end and the bye out of the way, and then that's it.
Right. All right. I understand that, but like I said, Jared Cook, I think he sneaks into the top 10 this week. And then another tight end if you're kind of a little desperate, kind of looking for things. Dan Arnold, ranked 19th this week against Seattle. We talked about Seattle. Seattle's defense, I think they're ranked 30th against the pass. They're ranked, they're allowing at least 11 points to fantasy tight ends per game. Dan Arnold, 2 weeks ago, 8 targets, 6 for 64. Last week, 5 targets, 2 for 27, but a couple of key drops inside the red zone. I think they're trying to get Dan Arnold involved. He looked good. It looked like him and Lawrence were trying to connect. And I think against Seattle, they're going to be throwing the ball like we talked about against Jackson. We talked about earlier with Jacksonville. They're going to have to throw the ball. You throw the ball against Seattle, and I think Dan Arnold might have a good game.
Awesome. Keeler's Keys, baby. Great segment. All right, we're going to run out real quick and have a talk listen to some of our fine sponsors. We're going to start with our friends with my shirt that I'm wearing. The great folks from Springer Realty. We'll be back with some streamers, some Ds, a couple of QBs. We already gave you Trevor Lawrence. And then some game-by-game analysis real quick. And then, bam, right into the wagers. And again, our new segment, the Harlow over. Just so you guys know, I started this on my own wagers. The Harlow over last week was A.J. Brown. So that could give you a hint as to where I'm going when I'm talking about this. So, the Harlow over. All right, here's the Springer Realty. We'll be right back on Behind the Lines. Thanks for watching.
Since 1964, Springer Realty has been helping homeowners save thousands when buying or selling their home. Springer Realty is locally owned, provides full service start to finish, and will handle all the paperwork and details. Why pay those high commissions in a seller's market when one phone call can literally save you thousands? Visit us at SpringerSellsHomes.com or call 219-838-0180. Springer Realty.
Baxter Printing is a family-owned and operated union print shop that has been serving Lake County, Indiana for over 50 years. They specialize in commercial and political printing like brochures, mailings, banners, and signs. Now located at 311 North Broad Street in Griffith, the folks at Baxter know how to get your job done right and on time. Call 219-923-1999 or visit us at BaxterPrint.com and see what Baxter Printing can do for you.
Looking for a friend who knows how to be a good listener? Humane Indiana in Munster has four-legged friends waiting to meet you. Open daily at 11 a.m., Humane Indiana provides many animal services from rescue to daily care. They provide on-site education while managing a wildlife preserve. At the main facility located at 421 45th Street, the staff awaits your visit. Ron Harlow Media would like to thank Director Brian Fitzpatrick and Board Vice President Scott Filler from Apex Construction and Remodeling for their support. Visit Humane Indiana and leave with a new member of the family. To find out more, visit the Humane Indiana website or dial 219-922-3811. Face it, when it comes to buying a home, you want a local mortgage lender who has the answers when you need them. In this fast-paced housing market, when is now? And your lender is Christine Reiser from Loan Depot. Her years of well-rounded experience, including time as a realtor, will put your stress to rest. Call Christine Reiser at 219-789-8313. Christine is available days, nights, and weekends to take you from pre-approval to loan closing. For a conventional mortgage, FHA, VA, USDA, or if you need help with down payment assistance programs, she's got you covered. Dial 219-789-8313 if you're looking to buy a home in Indiana, Illinois, or Arizona. Let Christine Reiser and Loan Depot be your guide. NMLS number 1447958.
All right, welcome back, everybody. Time to stream it up, baby. Again, I'm a big defensive streamer, especially when I draft defenses that I hate after 2 weeks, like Baltimore, like Pitt, like Washington. I mean, heartbreakers, really. I told Robert, the one defense I've held on thus far right now is I kept Dallas, and they're probably in for some trouble this week even. But I'm holding on to them. I'm going to see what they do. They're not getting. I'm not going to get points for shutting anybody out. We just know that they're going to have to get it on turnovers and scoring.
Has there been a shutout this year? I think
Buffalo had 2.
Yeah, Buffalo had 2. Right, that's it. So when you're sitting around waiting for a shutout, or a kick return for a touchdown, you're going to be growing old.
Right. Now, here's some defenses. I think Chargers is a defense that's worth holding after the bye. In general, they had a very, suspect game going into the bye. But we like them, I guess. Chargers play for the Pats, Philadelphia, and Pitt the next 3 weeks. That's something worth going afterwards. It's crazy, the Philadelphia numbers. He's like the quarterback 25 the first 3 quarters.
Mm-hmm.
Hurts, and the number 1 quarterback in the fourth quarter.
Because he always runs in a touchdown in the fourth quarter. Or maybe
no doubt.
2.
I talked about it. Cincinnati. How about it? The line moved 11 points already.
They definitely should be a streamer this week. I mean, they got a great match.
Right. QB problems, O-line problems on the Jets. They gave up 54 to New England.
I sure hope Joe Flacco doesn't play.
He's not going to play. He's not going to. I don't think he's ready. But I like him more than this white guy.
Yeah,
he's trouble.
Bunch of junk.
Yep. Yeah. How about this for some cool stats? They said outside rushing, not rushing all, but out the outside rushing. Cincinnati's in the rank number 4 and number 8 overall passing D.
Yeah, I mean they've been playing well.
Right.
I mean they've been playing solid football all around. In the AFC you got Buffalo and then the Bengals. Right.
Yeah.
They're probably the number 2 team right now in the AFC. So.
Right on. I wrote the word Giants ? Casey's dribbling, throwing up a lot of turnovers. Yeah. I think 10's crazy, by the way. I won't bet it. I'm not betting against Pat Mahomes 10 points, but I think that's an outrageous number with the way that team's been playing. If you're this far down, Giants, I know. Our quarterbacks, we said Trevor Lawrence, he's probably a keeper. How about Carson Wentz against Tennessee? We talked about the wide receivers. He's looking halfway decent. Again, rain game, tough game.
He's got 11 touchdowns, 1 turnover, 1 interception on the season, and he's thrown 2 touchdowns, I think, in 4 or 5 straight games.
If you're down here, I'm willing to try Danny Dimes versus Kansas City on Monday.
Definitely going to be chasing points. Definitely going to be throwing the ball around.
And I have Tua here, too, because it's Buffalo and yuck, and nobody wants to play that. But
that's a little tough one.
I don't like it.
He'd be lower on the list than the other guys.
We should say this. There is some conditions out there that he might end up being a Houston Texan.
I mean, there's a good question. I mean, Personally, I don't think they would announce that trade or do it before the Sunday game. They would probably do it Monday or Tuesday. And he probably would have to be included in a deal for Watson. I mean, I don't see how. Somebody was yapping about, well, what if they get Watson and keep Tua? I go, there's no way Houston doesn't take Tua.
Right, they need somebody.
They need somebody.
Absolutely.
No. Silly.
How about this? I think the second lowest scoring fantasy D available, Atlanta. I think they just need to show up against Sam Darnold. How about this stat? He only has a 62% completion rating with an open pocket, without any pressure. That's horrible.
I mean, I looked a little, sitting at the old crib and watching a little bit of him play. He just looks out of sync. Not scared, but he looks like the first 3 games didn't really matter. I mean, he just looks out of sorts. He's just not looking good in the pocket. He doesn't look good when he's got a clean pocket. He's not using Robbie Anderson.
I mean, the only thought there is that he can play decent against horrible defenses, but I mean, Atlanta is bad, but man,
just an average blah defense. No pressure on the quarterback. No pressure. They're just a defense. I don't know.
Rock and roll. All right, let's get into the game analysis. Thursday, tomorrow game, 6.5 Arizona. I think that's a pretty high number, or no? With the problems with Green Bay, it hasn't moved. It has not moved.
I'm shocked. I thought it would move. I thought there would be movement, but there wasn't.
That's because that's a pretty high number. It's tough to score. It's tough to cover 7 in the NFL. It used to be tough to cover 7 in the NFL.
Very interesting. I thought the number would move over 7. I thought it would go 7, 7.5, 8. It hasn't moved.
Could this be again? I think we suggested A.J. Dillon. Actually, a black hole would have been a better. Mickey Mouse would have been a better player since this week because he was a negative. Yeah. Sadly, A.J. Dillon fumbled.
When we get to our betting segment, I got some stats about
the
Thursday night game that might be interesting.
Very cool. Very cool. We're on MVS. We're on Cobb. Aaron Jones is going to have at least 20% more everything.
At least 20-some touches. No doubt about it.
No doubt about
that.
They're
definitely going to dump the ball off to him. So this will be the game you see, like those screen passes and dump offs to Aaron Jones. He'll probably have 5, 6, 7 catches.
Arizona definitely managing. Nuke Hopkins, he's been practicing very much, but what are you going to do there? Nothing. Would you rank the rest of those? Who would you rather have, A.J. Green or Christian Kirk? We know that Rondell would be last.
Right now, I take A.J.
Green. Where would you put Ertz? Number 2 or 3? 3 behind A.J. Nice.
I think I'd put Ertz about 3 right now.
And A.J. Green got a reason to play, right? They're freaking undefeated, so he's
definitely playing.
No doubt. I don't know about the defenses in either one of this game. I wouldn't probably do that.
I wouldn't get involved.
They're pretty decent when they're not playing these kind of teams.
Chandler Jones is back. The sack master for Arizona is going to be back, so that'll help their D. He hasn't played since week 1 when he had 3 sacks. He had 5 sacks. He had 5 sacks, and then he's gone. So he's back. But I don't know if I'd really play either defense in this game.
No doubt. How about welcome to Sunday and happy Halloween, 31st. Just so you guys know, if you want to get me something nice, our show next week will be my date of birth. Tennessee against Indianapolis is a 1-point game, and I think Robert has just talked me into. I'm thinking about how much to actually bet on Tennessee to keep riding the wave, right? You don't want to let letdown game.
I don't think the Colts got an answer for what Tennessee's dishing out.
They got a running back, and he could be the next Derrick Henry, but the rest of the pieces aren't nearly as tight.
But I just
Colts used to have a defense, now they don't.
They really don't have a defense.
Who do we like on the Colts? Are you still playing Julio Jones these days? I wouldn't be, I guess. I don't know. It's a decent matchup.
Have to.
He's in that He's in that close to almost Allen Robinson range. He's either healthy or when he's not healthy, he's doing you better work than when he's healthy. That's what I'm feeling.
Personally, I wouldn't be starting Julio Jones on my team.
Right. So there you go.
He might be your 4th receiver or 5th. Somebody you might sit him on your bench, but he should not be started.
No doubt. So. On the other side, we like Pittman. We like Taylor. We like Marlon Mack to get traded.
We want to see Marlon Mack traded.
Yes. All right. Again, that's an easy one. Moving on, Miami, Buffalo. Boy, I want to shut down any love for Miami this week. Buffalo. I think Miami was an earlier season shutout by Buffalo.
They were in Miami, I might add. Now they're on the road to Buffalo.
The stat that I have, again, the reason I have Buffalo in our wagers later, spoiler, is like they played Miami X amount of times and they have an average of 30-point wins over a certain amount of games. Right. Averaging 30 points. I'll take half that. Buffalo, golly, who not to play? The running game has been a little hit or miss still. You're going to get that with Zach Moss. You really thought when he had a nice stretch there of 3 or 4 games, but it's still, just like a Kyler Murray, it's still Josh Allen's football. He looked a little bit out of sorts against Tennessee, in my opinion. A little bit over on Josh Allen.
Yeah.
Just a little out of it, a little out of sorts. Now they don't have Knox.
They've had a week off. They're getting they can tune things up a little bit. I think they're going to beat down the Dolphins.
Oh, right, for sure.
I think the Dolphins are done.
So I'm getting in Sanders. Obviously, you're playing Diggs. There's not much you can do there. But, I don't know how. That was one of my bets I lost last week. I can't figure out how Miami threw 4 touchdowns and Waddle didn't get one. I'm still
He
baffled.
was banged up.
Right? Okay.
He got banged up in the game.
Oh, all right.
He kept going in and out. He got banged up. I was watching a little bit of that game because I had Pitts, Ridley, and Gesicki, so I was checking in on it. And
Right.
every 2 minutes, Waddle was on the sideline getting looked.
Yeah, let's talk about Gesicki. Right? I mean, first part of the season, he was the old maid of tight ends. Didn't have a catch for like 3 weeks or something.
Yeah.
Who is this guy? Where is this guy? He's the number 3rd ranked tight end now, I guess.
Well, I think what happened with Miami is all their guys got banged up.
Yeah,
Parker
Tua
got
was
banged
gone.
up, and Waddle's been kind of banged up, and he came back and he got banged up. And I think Miami woke up, and they've been splitting Gesicki out. He's been playing, he's been playing the slaughter or wide receiver spot. If you watch that touchdown we saw, when he had 2 guys on him, he was split out. They just ran him in the end zone, threw the ball up to him. He can't be covered. I mean,
So he's the guy. We'll play one Miami guy.
yes,
That
we'll
guy.
play Gesicki.
Okay. And Buffalo's D. For sure.
Buffalo's-
I feel bad for Tua this week. I hope he makes it through.
Yeah,
Thank you,
I don't know
Tua.
how it's going to
I want to appreciate you personally. I watched your special, by the way, when you got drafted. The whole family was there on GN. I watched it. You're the
I mean,
man.
I got nothing against the guy.
No, me either.
I just don't think he's.
Yeah,
He's
he's
not going to be a whole world dude.
I mean, how many guys that he's fluty size, kind of, right? He's kind of
a
fluty
small-
size.
He's
So
a smaller guy. He throws a left-handed ball. And sometimes on the sideline, he's got a look on his face that makes me worried. He looks
I
like,
like it. Okay,
what's going on around me? I don't understand what's happening. And I'm like,
boy, you're gonna have to send me a
I know.
screenshot of that. I
You
need
know.
to see a screenshot of that one.
that. And then when we get to the Bears, I'm going to talk about Justin
Oh my
Fields.
gosh,
The look he had on the sideline.
he
oh my
looks
God.
like he doesn't want to be alive.
Oh my
He was-
God.
I hate to say this, but he wasn't even in the room when they drafted him. Like the whole room he was there. They cut to the room with all the family, and then you know what I thought? They were out Puff Daddy in the corner. What's just a relaxed? He didn't get a pick in the first 5 picks. Justin. I don't know if that's true or not, but they were all
I don't know if it's
they all maybe
true
all
either.
did a shot. They did a shot maybe, but it was just weird to go and Justin Fields and then this empty room. I'm like, it was a bad omen for me.
It was-
I'm like, I was trying to be positive,
it was-
and then
It was a,
all right, we'll get to that.
it was,
We'll get to that.
It was foreshadowing.
Oh gosh, Bears,
of
you can't.
Nagy's reign of terror.
How have we never had a Pat Mahomes? How have we never had a John Elway, a Dan Marino? How have we never, ever had one? Ever.
I told Trish we were.
I mean, Bob Avellini is a name for the best. Scary to say.
Me and Trish were playing a little game. Like we were like,
Can you name?
the best quarterback for every team.
Oh, jeez,
You
Tuffy.
know, Green
Oh,
Bay,
you gotta give it-
Minnesota,
You got to give it to
even
the punky
Detroit,
QB.
even Tampa Bay, the Saints, the Cowboys, the Eagles, the
Yeah, it's easy.
Giants. Did
Did you go with Randall? Who'd you go with for the Eagles? Randall Cunningham or Boomer?
Or you could even say
Or yeah,
Jaworski.
Jaworski,
Or
yeah.
I went with Cunningham
Randall Cunningham.
or Donovan McNabb.
What a great game! I wish my wife could play that game. I could name all those guys. She'd say who?
I mean, but when you start that game and then you get to the Bears, you're like, okay.
Who did you say? Who did you get to? Did you say the
Well,
punky
you gotta
QB?
say- you gotta say McMahon or
The funny thing was, I
Eric
think Tom Zach was
Kramer.
better. Tom Zach was better.
Bobby Douglas.
Oh, good
or some
Lord.
nonsense. I mean,
Walter Payton filled in quite a lot. He was pretty good.
The point of the game is, my God, how can you be that bad drafting quarterbacks?
I know.
Or getting that kind of
golly.
talent
and
at the
pass
quarterbacks.
and like, but you had
You're a major city.
you
You're
took-
a major place.
I mean, we know whatever
You
Watson.
don't want to come here.
We know whatever Watson is, but you took Trubisky over Watson and Mahomes.
Man,
That sounds crazy. That sounds a very bad idea.
You go even Houston, the Carolinas, the teams that are expansion teams, the teams that came in the 90s still have better quarterback history.
Yeah.
than the Bears.
Even Tampa had Vinny. Come on now. Good Lord. How about Philadelphia, Detroit? This has got a sneaky high over-under of 48 for two teams that are pretty awful. But you know what's not bad? Their offenses aren't bad. Aren't
Not
terrible.
bad. I mean,
Because I don't know what the Swift. I mean, they're saying DeAndre Swift has more yardage than Calvin Johnson or something receiving.
right.
Going in. I mean, he has been an absolute surprise. Again, we were pre-draft. We were not big on him. We like Jamal Williams, who has been. Jamal Williams has been serviceable. It's been fine. But Swift's been just unbelievable. I think a lot of luck's going his way.
I think we didn't predict how big of a role he would have in the passing game. I mean, obviously, he's probably the number right now. He's the number one receiving running back in
Over
PPR.
over Kamara even. Yep.
Even over him and Kamara. Okay, but who would have thought that going in week 8 that DeAndre Swift is probably the second best PPR running back.
See,
You'd be
again,
like, what?
That's what I'm saying. The idiots are winning this year. It happens.
Somebody lucked into DeAndre Swift. They went, I got Swift and Chase. This is going really well.
And then somehow they picked up Cordell Patterson. Yeah. I'm not kidding you. And then it happens. They're scoring 180 a week and crushing everybody. I'm like,
they're crushing everybody, and you're going, you son of a.
I don't know. We like we like bench guys like Khalif Raymond and Brown, but I don't know if you're ready to play them. I mean, if you gotta. It has to be a. Hopefully, it's not a buy. And I want you guys playing them, but they're worth a roster spot based on the fact that Detroit is never going to be winning. I guess they're never going to win.
They might win this week.
Philadelphia.
Detroit over Philly.
Are you think that Dallas Goedert is now a plug and play? Just forget him.
Yes.
What if you have another good one? Trade him.
Ooh.
I got TJ and Goddard now.
Oh, you got TJ and Goddard.
I picked up Goddard. Like I'm in the seventh position.
Goddard's a top 10 tight end.
And TJ's on a crappy. They're both on crappy teams.
And, I mean, Hockenson, love his talent, but
that's a
we
system.
thought this is the breakout. They're throwing. They're losing. He's just not excelling.
He's
in the
been
game
about.
script.
I'm gonna say 60% good.
Yeah, he's just
game
not.
So far.
You would think with the way the season has played out for Detroit, 0-7, always chasing points, Hockenson would be having this monstrous year. You got to worry that he ain't breaking out this year. It'll never happen. So you got to worry. A little worried, a little bit.
It's still awful. Philadelphia, Gainwell worth a play this week for sure. I mean, absolutely. If you got room, this is his week. He's a good back out of the catches out of the backfield, and I guess Jalen Reagor's not good, and Devontae Smith is really not doing anything.
I think Hurts is just not getting the ball downfield to these guys.
62 yards he had at halftime passing. 62 yards last week.
Hurts the wide receiver. You know. Some people are starting to give the coach, the new rookie head coach of the Eagles, a little business. Maybe this guy don't know what he's doing.
Business.
So think about that for a minute. You know, they're stuck in a coaching hell right now with a rookie coach. They're already talking about one and done. He might be out there in a year. So
Rock on.
That's not good.
It's not good. I like Philadelphia's D this week. Maybe. I do.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Put some pressure on the ball.
If you have
put some pressure on the quarterback.
I like Cincinnati's D better next game against the Jets, baby. We got P. Ryan in. We got Mixon in. We got maybe everybody but Tyler Boyd in receivers. I feel bad for you, Tyler. Man, I wanted him. There just ain't room for you. He's so big. I mean, he's the Rondale Moore. That's what I'm saying. Like, sort of right there.
He's kind of the third. Well, he's probably like the fourth fiddle right now.
Right. Sad to say. I like him.
You got the Hig. You got the Chase. You got the CJ. I mean, Boyd. He's probably not going to get the volume unless one of those top two guys get hurt.
The Boyd void, we'll call it, sadly.
Boyd is in the void.
He's in the void, very much so. Jets-wise, how did Michael Carter touchdown last week?
Michael Carter.
Touchdown last week.
7 or 8 catches. He saved my
he saved your king or the Keeler's keys.
He
was the Keeler.
Well, and he saved my bacon.
You actually played him.
I played him.
That away, baby.
Yeah, I had him in my lineup. I had everybody on a bye. What am I supposed to do?
I got you.
So I put him in. He had the catches. He had a lot of dump-offs and garbage stuff in the fourth quarter. He had like 2 catches and he went to 8. Like, so I mean, he played like 75% of the snaps, so he's getting the volume. He's on a crappy team though, and he's playing RB2 or 3 right now.
I'm gonna just mark it. How lovely it is to see. Again, I didn't know much about all this gambling stuff until a couple of years ago, but I know now. It's finally Cincinnati minus 495 on the money line. You almost got to bet $500 to make $100 just to win the game. Look at you, Bengals, all day, baby. Bengals. I'm not. You don't want to play Michael Carter this week, though, do you? With this white guy?
Probably not. But same kind of game script, though. I mean, if you have to, you put him in your second spot, and he's going to get, his floor is probably 10, 12 points.
Well, my guy,
he's going to get 5 or 6 catches easy because they're going to have to dump the ball off.
I only had one player in all my lineups. My guy got the touchdown there, Corey Davis, last week from the back.
We said don't drop Corey Davis.
We didn't drop. What do you think? What do you think? Again, he only had like 60 yards, 40 yards at half. Didn't do much, but he got the touchdown, 3-yard touchdown, so you can, he doesn't have to get the deep pass. He is their guy. I was worried again New England would shut him down again, which he only had 2 catches for 8 yards against New England in week 2.
Yep. But
I played him. I had to again. CeeDee Lamb was off. Diggs was off. I had to get guys in there. So what do you think? Against the Bengals, do you think he can do another floor game? Corey Davis, you think he's a floor guy now?
I think him and Michael Carter could do their thing. I mean, yeah, I think he could. I mean, I'd put him. He'd be a flex.
43. 43 is the
He's going to get the volume. Who else is going to get the targets on that team? I mean,
yeah, Elijah Moore and Crowder, and that's no. Okay, gotcha. Moving on, San Fran, but Chicago Bears. I'll take San Fran. You take the Bears. I like San Fran. You guys. Well, no, not just to talk about it. San Fran's D. I like this week. Elijah Mitchell. Elijah Mitchell is. I'm riding him until he's not the guy.
You're gonna ride him.
Oh gosh, he was a 5 minute before kickoff guy. 5 minutes. That was Sunday when I heard his name. He's gonna be Darius Slate stinks and get him 5 minutes before kickoff. Before he did the one thing where I picked him up in 2 leagues. So we love Mitchell. Deebo Samuel is the only wide receiver you should think of. Gosh, I faced him too. He was just banned. I go, is it him again? 19, number 19, number 19. I didn't even know his number before the game. Now I know his stupid number. But he looks great. I think, is the Garoppolo going or is he?
It's going to be, it looks like it's going to, they said Trey Lance, limited practice, probably not ready this week.
Okay, well, maybe one more.
It's probably going to be Garoppolo again. But he'll be a game manager kind of deal against the Bears. You don't really have to put up 40 points to beat the Bears.
No, and Khalil Mack out, sadly. So
no
that's
way.
a big
I
one.
can't believe it.
Yeah, but that's one of their good guys. So he's
I
supposed
understand, but
yeah, he gets her luck.
Bears.
Bears are just they may not win a game again.
They got a really tough schedule. Really tough schedule.
Let's talk about Pittsburgh, Cleveland, the lowest over-under of the week, 42.5. Oh wait, yeah, you want to talk about the Bears? I'm sorry.
All right,
Bears.
Don't play anybody.
Don't play him. Okay, no.
Maybe Herbert.
Maybe Herbert.
I mean, I'm not playing Robinson. I'm not playing Justin Fields. And we'll talk about they showed the picture of Justin Fields in the fourth quarter. It was like the middle of the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
And he's sitting on the bench.
Just like Kyler was year before Kyler Murray, right?
He's just staring. I said to Trish, I would never put that man back in the freaking game.
No way. That's supposed to be our team leader.
Like I could care. Right. That's my team leader. That's my guy who's supposed to be inspiration. I would have said, you need to just go sit and pout over there. Whatever the hell you're doing, you ain't going back in the game. That's ridiculous.
And that's why I was mad at Kyler last year. He did the same kind of thing. Pouted like a little bit. He'd have a bad game and pout. Now
he's not over there talking to anybody. He's not getting up.
I'm talking to my team. I'm talking about off the offensive line, going, "Hey guys, I need some time.
We need to score a touchdown before the end of this game. We got to show some pride, boys. Let's go."
When you get this opportunity, this one chance to be the number one guy on the field,
between
you got to grab it. You got to grab it. Maggie's got COVID, right? Enough of the Bears. I'm sorry. I'm just upset that I have to watch their games. They're in-market games. It's very upsetting. I'm cheap. I want any other game.
That's going to be the commercial for DirecTV. Are you stuck watching the Bears?
Hey, Chicago fans. Hey, Chicagoland.
Chicagoland. Are you tired of watching bad
offensive
football? Well, there's teams out there like the Bengals, Ron.
You know
you gotta pay to watch them.
God, I am cheap. I put all my money into fantasy leagues. Pittsburgh, Cleveland, right. Pittsburgh coming off the bye, 3.5-point dog against a team that doesn't even have a quarterback. What is this? What is the world coming to, Pittsburgh? That is the craziest. Would you look at that line and go, oh my God, it's insanity. Case Keenum, 3.5. You know what? Case Keenum's telling everybody. I'm 3.5-point favorite against the Hall of Famer.
Yeah,
you know he is. Oh my God. Should we bet? I mean, Pittsburgh's defense ain't taking this well. Should we bet Pittsburgh? We should probably bet Pittsburgh. Crazy. They're looking to lose by 30.
In the locker room with Mike Tomlin when he's saying that we're underdogs to this crap.
Oh my gosh.
He's got to be going off his
mind. Wow, that's gonna be funny.
Oh yeah.
Where are we at here? Claypool? You liking Claypool this week, Cleveland?
Yes.
Yeah, we like Devontae. Deontay Johnson is always everything. I think he's got one hand down pants or something. Yes.
I don't know what that means.
I don't know either, but I mean, it's just I had Claypool. I like Claypool. It was always the other guy.
Claypool was banged up the game before the bye.
Right.
He was banged up, but he didn't have a great game. I think he's going to be a lot healthier, so he'll be fine.
Looking forward to Nick Chubb if he continues to practice this week.
Chubb looking like he's going to play, but
Landry hurt though. Who's going to be the wideouts for Cleveland? Anybody there that would play? Is Mr. Groin, Peeps Jones groin injury before the game, and he had a chance. Boy, He just keeps shooting himself in the foot. He just keeps shooting himself in the foot.
But I mean, you're not going to play OBJ. You're not going to play Landry.
No.
You're going to play Jones.
You're going to drop OBJ.
Yeah, I mean, Case Keenum's
and never drops him.
Case Keenum's not going to throw for 300 yards. So
yeah, you're struggling.
They're going to run the ball.
That 42 and a half, lowest of the week.
Yeah, it's going to be a low.
That's probably good. That's probably a good number.
It's going to be a grinder.
It's going to be Najee versus Chubb. That's what we're going to see in that game. Right on. How about this team? Carolina, Atlanta. Atlanta's back down to a 2.5 point favorite. They're up to 3 already. And Carolina, again, they're making DJ Moore look bad. They make Robbie Anderson look worse. Terrace Marshall's not even been healthy. Chuba Hubbard's only got one touchdown in this entire stretch where he started. Yeah. I think I'm going to play Elijah Mitchell over Chuba Hubbard, my number 1 pick. I call it my number 1 pick because he was, essentially. Because the other guy is out. Any word on McCaff?
They said, what is this, week 8? Could be week 9. I think they got the bye the 9th week. He could be back, I think, that week after the bye.
Good Lord.
But, I mean, are you going to be able to survive without your number 1 pick till then? That's the question.
Right. And Chuba's a play, I guess, if you have to. But I'm trying to find other guys.
That Carolina running game, boo. Darnold, boo.
Darnold, boo.
Without DJ Moore, it's probably the only playable player.
They're making him look terrible, and he was so good early on.
Well, I mean, Darnold people got the film on him, and we're seeing the same crap that we saw with the Jets. Everybody said it was Adam Gase's fault and the Jets' fault. Well, maybe not. Sam Darnold's fault.
We were touting Darnold early on. Well, because how could you not take? He had 5 rushing touchdowns. He led the league in rushing touchdowns. He was doing it, screwing my guy.
I watched a little bit of that game last week. He looked lost. That safety in the end zone, he looked like he didn't even know what the play was called. Wow.
How about the stuff with Atlanta love? I'm telling you, they seem to again. They started the first couple of this team wasn't even a team. They've adjusted. They say, "Cord, you're our guy." Pitts was that both of his big catches were out wide. He was nowhere near the line of scrimmage.
60-70% of the time. He's
big game and 40-yard catches. He's getting them, baby. This team's going to be. I think this could be a team to bet going. I just don't want it to run away from me like it did last week. So, or like Buffalo or Broncos did. But I think that Atlanta's a team to. I mean, narrow guys. We got Cord. We got Ridley. Wow, I know that I bet him to get. I did bet him to score a touchdown. I was happy to see that, but when I saw the yardage, I was like, really?
He had a little bit of an off game. You remember he was coming back after not being away from the team.
Right, and
I think Ridley and Pitts will be fine.
Yeah, that team's going to be good. And Matt Ryan very underrated.
They got an offense. They're gonna put points up. They're gonna put fantasy points up.
I had Van Jefferson. We're going to Rams Houston. I had Van Jefferson.
We talked about him
in my dailies. He scored. That was nice. Had nice yardage, nice catches. Yeah. It's another Cup monster. I feel bad for the Robert Woods people. I'm actually a really big fan of his, but it's just you're getting stuck there. It's Cup and everybody else got to scrap. It's Cup scraps. That's all you know what you got. We like Michelle late in this game. We like Henderson early. Henderson, another guy, probably doing a little mix and dance. He's always on the sideline, missing a little bit.
Get out of the game. We're winning.
I could have used the bigger points from the last week, but we're good there. Rams D's good. I guess Brandon Cooks is all we're looking there. But hey, Ingram's gone. You've got one less guy. Let's put our eyeballs on Lindsey and David Johnson. They're probably available. I faced David Johnson last week, and he had a tenner. And you get to 10 when it's a Gork.
You did all right. 10. He had 4 or 5 catches, some yards.
He might get traded too, though. Could you imagine Lindsey being the last guy? Because they were talking. He was in the trade talk.
That definitely could be what.
That would be great because we love Philip Lindsey. Do something, Philip Lindsey, another undrafted superstar.
The problem is the quarterbacking there, David Mills, and it's not a dynamic offense. They had no chance last week. They didn't do anything.
Right, no way.
5 points. First game in NFL history that ended 31-5.
And they were up 5-0, I believe.
They were up 5-0.
They were going, damn, missed the grand slam. Hilarious. Yeah. Right, Rams D, yeah, they're going to do good this week. Jacksonville, Seattle. Don't sleep on Jacksonville. This is an over-under, I think. I know it's Gina, 43.5.
But the problem is Seattle.
They might not be. The running game is just in the toilet. The running game
looks lost. He does not hit open receivers.
In Jacksonville's 3-point dog. Could they win 2 in a row? They can.
They could.
They can win 2 in a row.
It's basically a toss-up game.
I agree. If I'm taking a bet, I'm going on Jacksonville there. We love it. Welcome back, James Robinson. I'm knock on two-timer. He's a two-timer on the Harlow squads. And one of my favorite players because I drafted him last year. Did not waiver wire him. I drafted him. We love him. We love Marv Jones still. Rocking into the bye at a monster. What do you think about Laviscus? Laviscus.
Well, there's a lot of mouths to feed now with the old
Arnold
Jacksonville because now you got Arnold, you got Agnew,
Agnew's coming.
You got Jones, you got Robinson. I don't know if I could start him. I don't know. I need to see Jacksonville throwing the ball 30, 35 times before I could start him.
He is a benchable player. He can make some big plays, so he could be a spike guy.
I understand. He could be a spike
but he's a bench guy worth having. I wouldn't.
Maybe a flex guy in a bye.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, I mean,
Seattle's
Jacksonville's
deep.
Spreading the ball around.
Seattle's deep, or no?
Bad.
I know, but remember Trevor
you're talking about
playing and
Lawrence.
Trevor early in the season. Trevor was throwing the ball really bad.
He's not throwing the ball. He's not turning the ball over, and they don't get a lot of sacks.
They don't.
I would skip the Seattle.
I would
skip it.
Gotcha. New England at the Chargers, coming off a 54-gamer. 54-point game worth again three running backs at monsters. That's a really rarity when your three running backs were playable. That's never happened.
Patriots could have scored 70 points last week. It was insane. So.
Poor Jets. We said they were getting better. Sorry. It's the Bengals that are better.
Yes.
New England, Mac Jones, Kendrick Bourne,
Two quarterback leagues. Maybe you play the Mac. I mean, Damian Harris, you're playing.
What do you think about Jacoby Myers? Still no TD. That's touchdown watch. Touchdown watch.
I mean,
he's got to get one.
Eventually, he's going to get a touch-up. Are you going to be there for it? Not me. I'll skip it.
Hunter Henry still doing it, right? Another week.
His touchdown.
He's still getting them. What about, we talk about them in the running game enough. On the other side of the ball, Eckler's been super solid. We talked some Cook. Mike Williams on a dip.
Little dip. It's typical Mike Williams.
Yeah. I mean, we've
seen it in the past. Where
Keenan's the big target guy.
He has those games, and then he goes on the milk carton. Mike Williams is on the milk carton right now.
Right on.
But
are you going to play it?
Much better earlier this year than previous years. I get that, but he's just disappeared. Well, he's been banged up, too. He got the old... Before the bye, I watched some of that game. He was banged against Baltimore.
Right.
He got banged up early and didn't come back. So
5.5 seems not enough. I think the Chargers could put it on them, but again, I got the Chargers against Baltimore. That didn't turn out well either. But all right, let's go Washington at Denver. How about my guy McLaren got an ankle injury now? An ankle injury. He hasn't cost him a game. He won me my 2 games last week. Thank you. Should have had 2 touchdowns. And had a catch off his chest that would have been nice. That was a hard one, though. It was coming fast. It was coming hot. Yeah.
The ball hit him. That was a tough catch.
It's the Gibson. It's the Gibson folks that are dragging their feet. I wonder if you have D.J.D. McKissick, but I think he is going to be one of those guys that's going to keep playing.
He's going to be the Joe Mixon of 2021.
Yeah, he's going to score 12 points a week. He's going to in and out.
I wish he just wouldn't freaking play.
Right, that could help. Again, boy,
you're not going to be healthy.
I got to thank Robert for that. He talked me off the Gibson ledge in the first or second round, and you had to think about it. Well, I always do that. Again, you can blow it. You can blow it in these first 2 rounds.
Be the next Kamara. Remember that was?
Oh yeah, and the Kamara usage.
It's going to be the Kamara usage. He's going to have 90 catches
and we always said McKissick's still going to have that role, and he has had that role, but. You can blow it in the first 2 rounds, and he has for several.
He's going to be a disappointment.
Right. You could have we could have had Diggs. You could have had Kelsey. You could have. Everybody. Just not enough history. Just not enough history for Gibson, and not a very good team. Not a very good quarterback. We knew Fitz is brittle.
Right, even going into the season with Fitz, I didn't expect Fitzpatrick to go to the Super Bowl. People overrate him too.
Right.
He's a gunslinger. He could score.
But he never does. He doesn't play half the season.
Slow down with the Fitzpatrick stuff. He's been on 10 teams for a reason. Slow down.
Ricky Seals.
Nice beard.
Ricky Seals another full slate of snaps. So I think you got to play him. He didn't get going until the second half, really, but
he's a volume tight
he got his 12. Yeah, he got his 12, and that was just dandy. Denver, right? We're gonna blow it up this week. We got Judy, we got Sutton, we got Fan, Are you going with the running back? I'm gonna sit Javonte this week as I can.
Probably, like I said, I think they're gonna attack the Redskins through the air because that's what you do. We talk about 32nd in yardage, touchdowns. They're going to throw the ball.
3 straight games,
Throw.
Javonte 3 catches. So that's something. And he scored on a catch. So.
Yeah, and then Melvin Gordon scored that touchdown on that.
Yeah.
Too.
First one right out of the gate. Denver's D this week. Yeah, I like him.
Yes.
Tampa at New Orleans. Another one. 5-point road favorite Tampa. Coming off an absolute pasting. That game was over in 5 minutes of that game. I said I can't. I rushed to DraftKings trying to get a nickel back, and sometimes they do that, you know. No, nothing there.
I mean, that was horrible. I mean,
Without
that was
A.J. Brown,
That was an embarrassing.
I had Mike Evans all over my dailies and Chase, and I still didn't win money.
Embarrassing.
We got my obviously Evans and Godwin. You know who's going to have it? It's Godwin's 2 TD. Harlow going to throw it out. Not one. Godwin 2 TDs this week. It's his turn for 2.
Okay.
And who was the guy on New Orleans? It's Patrick Surtain Jr. Is that the guy?
Yeah.
No. Yeah. Okay. Well, there's a defensive guy in New Orleans. No, Lattimore. Marshall. I'll get it right. He'll probably be on Mike Evans. So I think Godwin's going to have a big monster game. I hear, but I'm not ready to put him in without seeing him take a few hits.
Right, but if he's back in, that's distraction for Godwin and Evans. So.
And we love Gronk. He's going to do fine. On the other side, we got Kamara and Callaway. Traquan back, but didn't do much. Deontay Harris hurt. So, and we saw some Troutman, I guess. I mean, a nice catch, but no usage there. The thing was trying to get in the rain game, Jameis over 225 passing yards is like
you might have
very hard to do.
Hard at that one.
And however it goes to Kamara, so what's left?
I mean,
no doubt about it. So we're going Kamara, maybe Callaway, Dart, Tampa's D because it's always Jameis. And there's again, just so you know, if you're an Antonio Brown fan, it's 95%. No, he's walking with a crutch. They got the bye week 9. I don't think he's going to play.
And then Arian said this could be a lingering injury for Brown.
I hate it.
Year.
I hate it.
You hate hearing that crap.
Yeah, and he's
Especially
been carrying me for 2 weeks.
He said he got a sprain down by the heel of his foot.
That's a pain one.
Sound like
you can't plant and cut with that. No way. Yeah, he might have to be a drop time some too. All right, 2 games left. We got to run through. Dallas, who you sitting? Minnesota, who you sitting? Nobody. Play it. Sit them all. Gallup coming back, take a look. Play everybody. Minnesota, everybody. Maybe even Conklin. Maybe even Osborne. Think about it.
It's going to be a shootout-y game.
Yeah, 55. That's the highest over-under of the game.
It's going to be a 30-30 game.
And God, Kirk Cousins, as much as I can't stand him, he's big. He's big game when he has to. The 2 weeks I played him when Sat Herbert were the wrong 2. But that's
Dalvin Cook's not having this huge season where he's going to score 20 touchdowns on the ground and 1,800 yards. He does his little thing, but Minnesota's a throwing team when they're going to score touchdowns. It's going to be Kirk Cousins.
You got it.
QB, they said what do they call him? A reluctant QB1. Reluctantly, they got to say it.
Yeah, for sure.
He never gets any respect.
I had him top 10, but I had to drop him. He was off the same week as Herbert, so it wasn't going to happen.
Okay. Some of us have Cousins and Herbert. We figured it out.
You have 3 quarterback leagues. You got craziness. Giants, KC. I think that the only thing we should talk about on the Giants is maybe Devontae Booker a moment. What do you say? Yeah. Again, it's KC. They're going to try to run the ball.
He saved the game last week because I had him on my bench. I'm watching him, and I was like, I'm glad I didn't play Booker. And then he broke off like a 20-yard touchdown when the game was out of reach.
Thank goodness.
So
I needed it.
He saved his day. But man, talking about plotting. He had like that 16 for 40 or 35 until that touchdown run. He's kind of a plotter. He's just blah. I think the Giants are going to have to throw to catch up. I think Kansas City is going to get out to a huge lead. So
yeah, the same thing happened the previous week. I think Giants played Buffalo and they got good. And I agree. No, and then KC, who you sitting? I mean, Hardman.
You play your Kelsey, you play your Hill,
you
play your Mahomes.
Darrell Williams, that's your guy.
That's you got to play him now. Right now, he's the guy. So, but I mean,
I don't know.
It's going to be a passing game as well on both sides. So.
Over under 50.
Yeah, they're both going to be throwing.
All right, let's move on to the wagers and survivors. We again added 5 to the winning total. We are 23, 18 and 1. Find better than that out there. It's been a crazy year. Robert's got some great stats on the underdogs pulling out stuff. I have survivors, and I found my other survivor that I took was Dallas. Dallas is off my board. I can't take Dallas. I'm going to take my beloved Bengals. When are you going to do that? Cincinnati this week, as they're going to at least win. 10 seems like a lot, though. I will, again, I texted Robert that I will be the person that, again, Dallas is the only team to cover every game so far this year.
Correct.
We will again, Minnesota's not just, here's my thought on this game. Minnesota's done some crazy stuff just to barely win lately. Minnesota, they let Carolina back in the game. This is the game where they're going to they're not going to do that against Dallas. I think Dallas can get the 3-point win.
Dallas is averaging over 35 points a game.
Love it.
I mean, that's a huge
And the running game's been really great.
Huge number you got to chase every week.
They could be Super Bowl. They could
beat the Cowboys.
If the defense holds something.
Stay healthy and Dak stays healthy.
They could maybe get there.
They're going to be noisy.
It's going to be them, Buffalo, or Arizona. I don't see any of the other teams going to be in.
Right now, they're the 3 top teams.
Right, or Tampa maybe, but Tampa's not going to do it again.
Tampa.
I got the Thursday night game. I think Green Bay's down a little bit too much. I think Kyler's going to throw 4 touchdowns. I'll take Arizona minus 6.5. And laying some wood this week, which is not the way to go. Harlow's doing it. I'll go Buffalo minus the 14. And because, again, we talked about the stat against Miami. They've been winning by 30. I think, again, what do we have on the bye? Buffalo's chomping at the bit after the slip and fall against Tennessee. They've been Josh Allen's going to lay it on them hard, I say, because he's pissed off about slipping and falling. They're going to leave no doubt, win by 14. And then the Harlover. Should I wait for the Harlover for the very end? It's not that big a deal. I pick a player. I pick a wide receiver out of the mix, and I bet everything. I bet over in yardage. I bet over in receptions. I bet over 1.5 touchdowns. Sometimes I'll bet over longest reception. But last week it was A.J. Brown. The Harlover this week, of course, against Miami, who's due to just blast. I don't care what the numbers are. They might not even be out yet. We're going Stephon Diggs against Miami. He is the Harlover this week.
Love it.
All right.
It's good stat. All right, I'm gonna throw a couple. Let's throw a Thursday night stat. I like your Arizona pick.
Good.
Thursday night football. They've been playing Thursday night football since 2006. Oh, I didn't know that. Last 15 years. When a team has to fly 2 or more time zones to play on Thursday night, that's happened 14 times. You know what the records are straight up? 1-13. And 1-12-1 against the spread. So when you got to go across 2 time zones or more to play on Thursday night, you lose. You lose straight up, and you lose against point spread. I like Arizona this week. I think Green Bay's in trouble.
Green Bay's had a lot of patty cake games lately, too.
Green Bay's going to be a little bit of trouble this game. They're going to call with their pants down. So that was a little stat to help out Ron.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. I like the Bengals giving 10.5 against the Jets. The Jets have the league worst average point differential per game at minus 15.8. So they average losing by almost 16 points a game. Per game.
So if it's not 16, you just bet it.
So if
that
it's
seems
not,
like a pretty easy. That's A plus B equals C.
I might not have got an A plus in math. I think I did. But
I did too.
I might not get an A. But I'm going to say 16 does not equal 10.5. I'm going with the Bengals. I think they're going to do a little blowout-y on the Jets again. I think the quarterbacking for the Jets is going to put them in the old barrel. I like Tennessee giving the 1.5 against the Colts.
I knew it was coming.
I knew it was coming. I like Tennessee. I like how they're rolling. I don't think they could stop them. The Henry and the play actions and the Tannehills.
And I like it. Again, Colts been a little hot. They got 2 or 3 wins in a row. They're not going to win all of them in a row. They're not that good. So this is a good.
I like this game. It's an interdivision game. It's going to be a kind of rough and tumble. They like to battle. These are the 2 teams that are going to be fighting for that division. I like Tennessee. And like I talked about, the Colts can't seem to figure out how to stop Derrick Henry. And I like Pittsburgh getting a 3.5. I don't understand that. I think Mike Tomlin's going to look at
I just noticed it when we were doing the show. I'm like,
I think Mike Tomlin's going to go, wait a second, boys. There's no way after a bye, we're going to let Cleveland, with Case Keenum, beat our team. I think Pittsburgh can come out with a purpose, defense, little Ben, little Claypool, little Najee Harris. I don't think the Browns are that good. I don't think they're that good. So I'm going to go with Pittsburgh getting the points on the road.
I love it. Hey, great. Great week, Robert. Let's win them all again this week, guys. Please like, share, tell folks about us. We want everybody to go 5-1 on their window at the bet. We're not. I don't think we're doing anything but giving you guys good service. The more people you know, the more service we give. Go for it, baby. Thanks, Robert. Great as always. I look forward to this day like you wouldn't believe. It's such a great time. Good luck. Week 8, mate. We'll be back next Wednesday on my birthday. See you, folks.